house in Fata Morgana because I gotta tell you, I am not ready. Because, to be honest, this visual novel is just flat out making me depressed. But I'm going to press on anyway. So, here we go. So last time, the witch said that she would wish for the reconstruction of Michel, which means that Michel could be reincarnated in the future as his own body and everything is kept the same. But in exchange, Giselle had to become the maid of this mansion, and the witch has imprisoned her in the mansion. And basically, Giselle is doing all this uh, in exchange for something that's not even a guarantee, because basically all the witch is doing is wishing for Michel's reconstruction. She's not saying Michel is going to come back for sure. So this seems like a really shitty deal. And as you just saw, um, 100 years passed with Giselle acting as the maid of the mansion, even though like nobody's there in the mansion. So she's literally living by herself for hundreds of fucking years. So enjoy the house of Fata Morgana, ladies and gentlemen. This is such a happy tale. For the first 100 years, I kept track of how much time had passed. An hour, a day, a month, a year, 10 years, 50. But once it had surpassed a person's average lifespan, the counting started driving me mad, and so I stopped. My sense of time began to numb. In place of sleep, I spent my days in a trance-like state. Doing so, I was less aware of the passage of time, which made it a little easier to bear. Suspended in this bubble of time, my mind went out to you. The next thing I lost a sense of was myself. I lived as a human for 21 years. After spending nearly 10 times that trapped in the mansion, I began to feel like that was all I had ever been. That maybe my past was all a construction of my imagination. That, as an otherworldly being, I merely fantasized about being human. Had I actually had a family? Had there actually been other people in the world? Did cities and villages really exist? Was there ever really a time when light shone through the windows, when we were happy? But I knew if I started doubting everything, I wouldn't be able to maintain myself. So I settled on believing one thing, that you, Michel, were real, that you had been with me, that I had loved you, and that it was you I was waiting for. I tried to always remember that one fact. My characteristic energy and cheer were disappearing. By then, I hardly ever raised my voice anymore, and in response to that change, the witch seemed to treat me a little nicer. On occasion, I thought I could sense her presence nearby, like she might reveal her form to me from beyond the darkness, instead of only speaking to me. I could feel her sitting beside me. Giselle, do you think you're still Giselle even now? Hehe, I suppose it doesn't matter either way. Sometimes I think love and fanaticism are two sides of the same coin. What are you implying? Oh, nothing. I have an idea, though. Why don't we make you some new clothes, my dear? The loom should still work, thanks to your keeping everything in order. That outfit's an artifact of an age long past by now. You know how long it's been? Vaguely, but yes. As we speak, time still marches onward. Not too quickly and not too slowly, but at the same pace as your breathing. Now, on your feet, Giselle. We have plenty of time, so let's make you the perfect maid's outfit. And if we don't have enough materials, we can make more thread from the sheets or curtains. Hehehe, how exciting! Following her instructions, I wove garments in a style that did not exist in my era. They were quite strange to behold. The old me might have been stricken with fascination by them, but at that point I wasn't even sure how to rejoice, how to be impressed, or how to be moved anymore. It sounds like rain again. Hiss, 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 hiss. What year is it? Hiss, hiss. Oh, it doesn't matter what year it is. It doesn't matter where it is. As long as you're there, it can be any time, anywhere. Where are you, Michel? What are you doing? I'm still praying. I'm still wishing for you to appear before me. Forever and ever. and ever, and ever, and ever, and ever. I've been praying for so long, I don't even know how long it's been. Before you left, you said you were going to pray too. You said you hoped we could meet again in another life. I'm not misremembering, am I? Michel, come back to me soon. I love you so, so very much. But my memories of you are starting to fade. What did your voice sound like? What kinds of faces did you make? Where did you like to put your hands on me? I don't want to forget. I want to always remember. My memories of you are the only thing holding me together. But they're slipping away from me. How did you speak? What kinds of things did you talk about? I'm losing all these memories. Please, Michel, come back to me before I forget everything. My beloved master. The thought crossed my mind that maybe Morgana's guarantee that you would be reconstructed was just a lie to trick me into staying here. But I quickly discarded it, because if she had been lying, it would strip all meaning from my very existence. It would take from me my purpose for being here. So I didn't want to accept that possibility. I had no choice but to persevere in my belief that you would return. I had always thought I would be all right, that my faith would never waver. I still believed in myself, but you can be the happiest, most optimistic, resolute person in the world, and you will still break eventually. And I was at that point where even the slightest tap would shatter me into fragments. Several hundred years after I was enslaved within the mansion, something changed for the very first time. Sunlight, which I had not seen in all that time, shone in from outside. At first, I did not believe it was real. I thought it was a hallucination born of my inner desires. And I thought I must have completely lost it for my fantasies to have escaped my mind. But it didn't matter if it was all an illusion. The gentle breeze blowing in through the window felt wonderful. The smell of grass, the chirping of birds, the glistening blue sky. It was like 1,000 memories rushing back all at once, and it brought tears to my eyes. The time has come, Giselle. It's time for you to get to work. And as she always did, the witch's voice crushed my elation, dragging me back to reality. Reveling in the sight of the outside was the last thing I should have been doing, for it was that moment that began my true decline. Work? What kind of work? Have you already forgotten? Oh, good heavens! Do you have your head on straight, my dear? As I said, I need you to watch over the house and show your utmost hospitality to those who show up. Is someone? This is merely an appetizer. It looks like someone's here. Hold on. I have no idea what I'm supposed to do. Do the same thing you have been doing. Be a maid. Convince the house's guest that this is a wonderful place. Make them enjoy their stay. Now go on. I'm quite looking forward to this. The bar has been removed, but will the door open? For so long, the door had refused to budge. For so long, light had forsaken these halls. For so long, there had been no trace of life. And now, all of that had been turned on its head. I felt like I had stepped into heaven on earth. I know it sounds melodramatic, so please don't laugh. It was almost certainly a perfectly ordinary slice of nature. Leaves and grass rustled in the wind, flowers specked the earth, and in the distance was a city I didn't recognize. I wondered where I was, of course, but I neither shouted nor jumped in surprise. Instead, I found myself accepting of my circumstances, as unnatural as they might have been. As I was standing there idly before the entrance, a carriage rolled up. Egad, could this road be any bloody worse? It's in dire need of repaving, on top of everything else. And who might you be, young lady? That outfit... He's speaking a different language. The middle-aged man approached me. From his attire and the way he held himself, he appeared to be upper class. Upper class, high society. However, the words coming out of his mouth were not in the language I had grown up speaking. Could the mansion have moved somewhere far, far away? Naturally, I had no idea how such a thing was possible. And the longer I stood there staring at him absent-mindedly, the more incredulous he became. My immediate mission was to overcome the language barrier. Fortunately, I suppose, I was able to understand bits and pieces of what he had said. As merchants in the capital, my family did business with people from other countries, and as a result, I had learned a handful of words. The problem was, it had been so long ago, I had no confidence whatsoever in my ability to hold a conversation. I am a servant. Servant? I can't say I remember asking for a lady servant, but, I suppose these things do happen. Doesn't much matter who they sent. Who are you?
You weren't informed? Bloody hell. Off to a great start, I see. Well, what can you do, I guess? Name's Hayden Rhodes. Just a retired old man.
As I am sure you have already guessed, this man was the Rhodes siblings' grandfather. He was always the first person I served under as the maid. For a member of an esteemed noble family, Haydn was a bit on the eccentric side. I don't know if I should be saying that Hayden or Haydn.
I'm gonna say Hayden instead.
He only hired a handful of servants, claiming he was not fond of clamor. There was a single chef, a physician, a servant to take care of all the cleaning, and then me, who served as his personal assistant. Whenever he got the chance, Hayden would chase me down and make me practice proper etiquette. According to him, I had much to learn.
You are, at least technically, a servant of the Rhodes family, young lady, so I can't have you going around playing the country bumpkin act.
Yes, sir.
And we'll have to do something about that accent, too, while we're at it.
I have an accent?
Thicker than bloody molasses. Now, I have no interest in sticking my nose into your business, asking where you hail from. But while you're here, you must act the part, young lady. Lucky for you, I'm retired and have all the time in the world. I'll teach you everything you need to know about proper etiquette.
All right.
Speak up, will ya?
Yes, sir. Hayden did not go easy on me either. In addition to my day-to-day duties, I studied etiquette, the language, proper pronunciation, and formal diction. Any time I made the slightest mistake, he would shout his dissatisfaction.
Listen carefully. A servant is the face of a house. The servant's gaff is her master's gaff. Always keep this in mind. You're not just a maid. You must always act with elegance and grace. You must always maintain your composure, even if the house is falling down around you. Whatever happens, you deal with it quickly and quietly. Your language must be immaculate. No ums, uhs, or pauses, for any reason.
Yes, sir.
No stammering either.
Sorry.
Bloody hell, you are not gonna make this easy, are you? Whose idea was it that a country bumpkin would make a good servant? I'd like to give him a piece of my mind.
I'm not from the country. Not even slightly. I was raised in the capital.
Is that so, huh? A prim and proper city girl, are you? In that case, you should be a quick study.
Absolutely. I can learn anything in a week tops, piece of cake.
Is that so? All right then. Starting tomorrow, I'm tripling your lessons.
I didn't think this through. In addition to being my master, Hayden was my teacher. When he yelled, he grew twice his size, and I shrunk to half mine. But it wasn't at all an unpleasant experience, because I knew he wasn't raising his voice to belittle me. His instruction may have been harsh, but it was human interaction. There were people around that I could talk to, and that was wonderful. I was starting to regain some of my humanity.
Unlike me, you've still got a long life ahead of you, young lady. I don't know what kind of life you've lived, but I can't imagine it's been all that easy. Not many servant girls your age without a home to go back to. Which is why you need to learn this. Once you've got all the rules and customs down, you'll be able to hold your own at any noble's estate. You shouldn't have any trouble keeping yourself employed. I'm sure you think I'm just a loud, obnoxious old man, but I believe we met for a reason, so I hope you'll stick with me.
I, don't think about you like that at all, Master. You're a remarkable man.
One more time.
I deeply appreciate your generous consideration, Master, from the bottom of my heart.
I
didn't know much about Hayden's situation, why he had retired to this mansion all alone, away from the rest of his family. But any time I asked about them, he would say,
It happens sometimes,
with a melancholic frown. Before long, 2 years had passed. By that point, my etiquette had improved enough to satisfy his high standards. In that time, the mansion underwent a number of decor changes as Hayden brought in sculptors to work on different areas of the house. He also sealed off rooms that were not in use, such as the observation tower and the chapel. It was a sad thing seeing areas with so many memories for me falling into disuse, but as a mere servant I had no say in the matter. In addition, Hayden seemed to greatly enjoy renovating the house, so I watched him warmly. The furniture was all gradually replaced. Gorgeous paintings hung on the walls, colorfully patterned curtains installed. And a brilliant rose garden planted.
These roses come from all across the world. Nowhere else can you see so many different varieties in one place.
It's beautiful. Did you know that in the city, people are starting to call the mansion Rose Manor?
Rose Manor?
And to think there used to be nothing but weeds here. Amazing how much it has changed. I never thought I would see this garden turned into something so beautiful.
Are you fond of roses, young lady?
Yes, red ones especially. Roses mean a great deal to me. They remind me of a time long past.
Given one as a gift, were you?
No, I believe I was the one who gave the rose. So red roses are a symbol of my feelings. They're very precious to me. I gave you a rose as a gift. You plucked it from its stem and placed it in my hair. Am I remembering correctly? My memories are so vague now. I can't even remember the look on your face that day.
There are some kids I'd like to give roses to myself.
Who?
My grandchildren.
Oh my, you have grandchildren?
Aye, though we haven't been in touch for some time. Last I saw them was 4 years ago, when my second grandchild was born. The sweetest girl in the world, with lovely flaxen hair. She's going to be a real beauty when she grows up. Anyway, they're wonderful kids. And one day, I want to hand this garden over to them. Each and every rose containing my hope that they'll lead comfortable, healthy lives free of strife.
I'm sure your wish will come to pass. Your grandchildren will have wonderful lives.
Aye.
The grief of not having you around still weighed heavily on my mind, but I was slowly approaching contentedness. Life with Hayden was slow and uneventful, peaceful and relaxing. I imagined my heart was seeking anything to alleviate its pain, and it had found that in the beautifully remodeled mansion, the garden blooming wildly with roses, and my time with Hayden. I was even beginning to think this life was enough for me, that I would be okay with this being the end if it meant more of the tranquility I felt. I was like a coward, considering giving up the fight. Please do forgive me for ever considering such a thing.
I think, yeah, I'm pretty sure they're talking about um, Mel, um, Mel and Noel. Yeah. Um, I don't know though. This is going to be interesting because I think we are about to find out if Giselle was actually the white-haired girl from those 3 stories. Because, I don't know, like a while back they made it sound like the white-haired girl was just like made up. But I don't know, I could have misinterpreted it. They might have meant the white-haired girl was only made up in the 4th story, not necessarily in the other 3. So I don't know quite how this is gonna go. I don't know if Giselle is actually the white-haired girl from the 3 stories, or what, if there actually was a white-haired girl that was separate. So I guess we'll find out here pretty soon.
Hayden seemed to be in high spirits that day. A gift had apparently arrived from his son, who lived far away. In it was a tea set, some leaves, and a small jar of sugar.
Miss!
How can I be of service, master?
Brew me up a pot of this, would you? Be careful not to steep it for too long. You want to get it just right for the best flavor.
As you wish, master. You seem quite pleased.
Psh, why would I be? A boy who shunned his old man for years sends him a paltry gift on a whim. I'm just entertaining his fancy.
Your tea is ready, master.
Ah, what a wonderful smell. Tea and roses are life's best damn spices. Now, let's see what that boy chose for me. If it's no good, I'll be sure to write him an angry letter.
He looks so happy. He must really love his family.
It's a little bitter.
Shall I brew another pot?
No, it's not your fault. Must be something in the leaves.
Would you like to add some sugar then? There was a small jar of it with the tea set.
Now that's some bloody fine sugar he's procured. White as snow and sparkles in the light.
He chose it just for you, master.
Bloody hell, what demon possessed him? Alright, give me 2 spoons then.
Yes, master. Here you are.
Ah, splendid. This is some exquisite tea. The sugar balances the bitterness of the leaves perfectly. I guess that boy does have some...
Master? Master! Master! The doctor! I need to find the doctor! Ah! Ah! Water! Water! I'll get you some water right away! So please, please hang in there! Thanks to the quick treatment provided by his personal physician, Hayden survived. But he didn't make it out with much more than his life. He was permanently bedridden by the affair.
Did he have a fucking stroke or something?
Evidently, the sugar I had put in his tea had contained poison.
Bro, why would his grandson try to fucking poison him?
The hell? Which had done irreparable damage to his nerves and muscles. Most of his body was completely immobile, except for his left arm. Can I bring you something? Some water?
I've had more than my fill of water. You don't need to wait on me hand and foot. Haha. That face says you need to distract yourself by working. Remember what I told you? A noble family's servants must always act with elegance and grace. You must always maintain your composure.
But how can you expect me to remain composed? If I had only examined the sugar more thoroughly.
You never would have noticed, young lady. I examined the sugar and didn't see a bloody thing wrong with it. He was damn crafty, that's for sure.
Why would he do this?
his inheritance, I presume. Dude, if this is Mel that did this shit, then what a fucking shitty dude. Something must have come up and he needed money quickly.
Well, that's no reason to poison your own father.
Oh, wait. Okay, I'm sorry. It must have been his son, not his grandson, so never mind. It wasn't Mel then. I guess it was probably Mel's father. Blood is nothing but an obstacle to ambition. Or maybe he just hated me.
How could anyone possibly hate you?
Perhaps that could be said of the me you know. But when you live as long as I have, you're bound to make an enemy or two. Mine just happened to be my son. I was planning to give him everything anyway. He didn't have to do this. It all would have been his.
Master,
Killing me doesn't accomplish anything. But I guess it doesn't much matter. Say, could I ask you something, young lady?
what can I do for you?
I don't want it to get out that Hayden Rhodes was poisoned, so could you tell people that I passed away peacefully with a beautiful nurse tending to my every need?
You're not dead yet. Please don't talk like that. You're scaring me.
No stammering.
But
I'm not saying it'll happen immediately, but I am an old man, and one day you'll wake up and I'll be gone. This is about my own pride, not my son. The last thing I want is to go out with a black spot on my name. Tell me you'll do this, Giselle.
he's never said my name before. As you wish.
Thank you. You're a peculiar girl, you know. Sometimes you seem greener than the leaves in summer, and sometimes you seem like you've seen 12 kinds of hell. And every so often, you seem not of this world. Your skin is pale, your hands as cold as ice. At one point, I thought you might be Death himself. But I was wrong about that. You have too big a heart to be Death. You care too much. You must be carrying a very heavy cross on your back.
What am I supposed to do? I don't want to lose you, Lord Hayden. I don't want to lose this life.
You have someone, don't you, young lady? Someone you're dying to meet again.
Yes, but I don't know anymore. I don't know how long I'm supposed to keep waiting. If something doesn't happen soon, I don't think I can hold myself together much longer. I was so close to breaking down, and it was you who kept me on my feet.
I'm sure you've tried to remain strong plenty of times, so I'll give you some different advice. A trick for when you think you're losing hold of yourself. build a cocoon.
A cocoon?
A sturdy shell to keep your weak inner self safe. This world has no interest in protecting you, only swallowing you whole. So you mustn't readily expose your true self. You build a cocoon, and you play the role you need to play. That way, the real you will remain unharmed. It's not pleasant to hide yourself like that, but it's better than letting the world crush you. But a word of warning, if you spend too long in the cocoon, the real you is liable to disappear forever. You'll be swallowed up by your own protective shell. I hope you find whoever it is before it's too late. Now, I think I'll get some sleep. All this talking's worn me out.
As you wish. Good night, Master. See you in the morning.
Aye, see you in the morning, young lady.
The next day, Hayden was dead. He had strangled himself with his left hand.
What the fuck?
I should have been more attentive. I should have recognized how much pain he was in. How much it crushed him to have been betrayed by his own family. I should have realized how he truly felt, how fragile he really was. I fell into a hopeless gloom. I could hardly believe that the quiet life I had finally attained had been shattered in the blink of an eye. Hayden's other servants quickly went their own ways, and I vividly remember the dirty looks they all gave me. Everyone who knew how he had died assumed I had done it. I had no reason to kill him, though, but they had more than enough to believe so, for I had, indeed, been the last person to see him alive, and I held firmly to the story he had asked me to tell, while I was unable to convince the other servants. His family was far more accepting of the story that he had departed from the next world happily, though that did not make the truth any less heartbreaking, especially since I was the only one who knew it. Why does this always have to happen? I was happy, but I can never seem to keep hold of it for more than a flash. Despair always comes marching in to rip it away. What am I doing here? What kind of person were you, Michel? What kind of person was I? Oh, my dear, you look positively miserable. Why should you despair at the death of some strange old geezer? Morgana, was Hayden one of those whom you wish to be reconstructed? Ha! I have no interest in that wrinkled bag of bones. And if he was one of them, do you really think I would have let him go so peacefully? Peaceful? You call that peaceful? You call his misery peaceful? I most certainly do. And since you do not seem to understand this, the pain of death lasts but an instant. The worst torture can only be inflicted upon the living. Setting two loved ones against one another, manipulating one into taking the other's life, and then forcing him to live with that.
Wait, she's referring to Jacopo, right? I think that's what she's talking about.
The stage hasn't even been set yet, my dear. And you would have me play a part in that? Indeed. You agreed to accompany me. You are here to be my guide, and you're doing a wonderful job of it so far. I haven't done anything. Oh, but you killed that old man, did you not? Thanks to you, my wish is one step closer to fruition. What? What do you... What do you mean I killed Hayden? You mean to claim you didn't? Tell me, who was it that put the poisoned sugar in his tea? No, no, I didn't mean to. Your intentions are irrelevant. Everything moves along the path forged by my wish, and you shall continue to follow its will. Urgh! You know what? I'm done feeling like this. I don't want anyone else to go through what Hayden did. And what are you going to do about it? I'm done listening to you. Without me, you have no influence over this world. Oh? So I'll die. I'll take my own life right here and now. I grabbed a nearby knife and held the tip against my breast. My hands were shaking, my heart pounding. My whole body was racked with terror, but I could have sworn I heard Morgana gasp. This was her one weakness, I thought. What are you thinking? Don't do this, Giselle. Don't be foolish. Put the knife down right now. I'm done trusting anything you say. Giselle, put the knife down. I've missed you so very much, Michel. I've wanted nothing more than to see you again. But if my being Morgana's guide is going to cause other people suffering, then I can't. It's all over, Morgana. Ah. Huh? There's no blood? Not even pain. Why? Ah ha 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 ha. Ah ha 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 ha. Absolutely brilliant. I told you not to be foolish, but you just wouldn't listen to me. Ah ha ha ha! Such a silly girl. I really am. I couldn't even die if I wanted to. Learning that absolutely crushed me. My backup plan, the one escape route I had thought available to me, had been ripped away. My spirit crumbled, and I felt myself sinking into a vast darkness. I began losing my grip on myself, which is when I recalled Hayden's advice. Build a cocoon. It was the only option I had left, my final chance at protecting myself. Although ultimately I was unsuccessful in that endeavor, as you know. But by that point, my mind and spirit had all but been lost, eroded away by the years of solitude, the witch's whispers, the brief glimmer of happiness, and the eternal, boundless darkness it had left me in. It was in that moment that all light drained from my eyes, and it was in that moment that the maid was born. Alright, so we are now caught up to the first story. Alright, well, I am going to stop here for the night. Alright, well, thank you for hanging out with me tonight, and, yeah, the next episode's gonna be rather interesting. But anyway, yeah, we'll pick this back up again tomorrow. So enjoy the rest of your night. I am out of here.